Hello treasure seekers to yet another exciting week in the land of Naughty Dog and Uncharted. And even though we are closer than ever to our final hands-on with Naughty Dog's latest and last Uncharted adventure, aside the most likely Sam DLC content, with each new tidbit that drops, and in this case new gameplay reveals, the harder we wait. That bittersweet pill. I had many requests to take a look at the latest video made available from Sony and Naughty Dog, and even though it's a tough job, someone's got to do it. So it's off to work I go. Now jumping straight in with no build up to the vast open landscape of Madagascar expanding out before us, it is clear that the open level design and non-linear structure of the PSX demo was not a one-off and embedded fully into the game's DNA. Here we see an even larger expanse that becomes our playground, complete with an appropriate means of transport to explore. The first thing that jumps out is not only the incredible streaming engine the team have created here, with such high quality assets and hardly any popping noticeable, no matter how fast you zip through. I waxed lyrical a little with the E3 demo, but here we can see just how far and wide it really is, catering for all areas and demonstrating that corridors are abolished, instead to deliver the wide savannah and some incredibly dense foliage, rocks and geometry this side of a Far Cry game, with even more elements I will get to later. But we can already see that lemurs are this year's giraffes. With the implications to gameplay and mechanics front and centre, the game and demo shows much more than these obvious signs. Tagging enemies, stealth, gung-ho, the choice is entirely yours. Tessellated water is used much across the game, as we first saw from the PSX demo, as characters walk through or the Jeep now drives through, leaving it rippling and undulating before settling again over time. Just imagining what types of sections we will see on the water and underneath, as is glimpsed in the preview, just makes the wait even more agonizing. Even more so if I cannot secure a review copy. It is also a good section to highlight the improvements in this regard to water, as from the E3 demo the water splashes seemed less than optimal, almost placeholder, as I noted in that analysis. But here we not only get water splashing across the Jeep, under and out of the arches, over the tyres, but as we see with characters' hair and clothes getting wet, the Jeep is clean the longer you drive, including nice contextual animations as seen here with Sam wiping his now wet face. Dirt and decal shader additions are another really impressive feature of the game, all shown in full glory with the real-time cutscenes carrying over all your actions and results into them, and this is why I love them. Note the skin of Nathan as the mud has dried on him, and his shirt, demonstrating the core physically based lighting system is ever present and correct. But it is not just a simple texture addition or shader pass, as you can see the dirt builds on the tyres in chunks, spinning and breaking as you go. Physics are as shown before all over the game, with soft and rigid body as I talked about in my last story video and E3, but here you can see the Jeep bounce, sag and rebound as it drives over the uneven terrain and mud. Not only the suspension, but each wheel and axle is running a physics system that a racing game would be proud of, most likely a rally game. See as the wheels spin independently as they are on or off the ground, terrain causing it to spin and react accordingly. Adding to this is a most likely POM effect, adding trails and tyre ruts into the mud as you go, just like the truck scene from E3. It's a muddy but fun looking task. All the while the gang inside are rattled around like bowling pins, but they shift, slide and react accordingly, just demonstrating the soft body and weighted pivot animation system the team have created. All movement looks and feels natural, from jumping and pushing off with his legs, swinging or even pulling the winch overhead. The integration into this gameplay is another nice feature. Having to walk around the tree, for example, to tie it up, and entering the Jeep from different sides uses separate entry animations. But the team are not static, with an extension of the dynamic nature of Ellie in The Last of Us. Each has its own process and banter, giving that feeling you are playing with real people that talk, think and react to the game and action dynamically just as you do, extending and improving from its previous title, as Naughty Dog always do in leaps and bounds.
Would you look at that? A secret cave behind a waterfall. Gentlemen, we're on a pirate adventure.
What are you, 7?
POM is abundantly scattered around the rocky terrain, with self-shadowing that adds depth to it, seen in Drive Club, and it brings us to what is one of the most single impressive areas aside the simply mind-boggling animations. The team have certainly maximised that memory bump as expected, which includes weight, force and inverse kinematics from grabbing, climbing and fighting. It all feels brutally accurate. The lighting techniques in the engine and game are now really truly as big a leap up. Global illumination is everywhere in the demo, as I covered from its reveal and all the showings since, with the red bounce of sand hitting trousers, jeep, skin and arms, also on the long grass, which receives light penetration and shadows from Nate and crew as they sculpt through. Notice all of the interactions that we saw from the PSX demo are still present here, with all the characters pushing and wading through the grass and all objects in the game dynamically. Rock piles, wood, jeep, water, wood, everything reacts as you would expect in the real world, and the physics are very well integrated throughout the game and its engine. It's clear from every showing thus far. Moving again back to the lighting, you can see as he runs up the steps the red bounce on his arms and arse. Then it fades out as he moves into a brighter area, dulling this. You can see these dynamic touches across the demo. Possibly a light map solution, but it not only looks incredible, but helps ground the game, world and characters. A big push the team have always had. Watch here as the fuel can on the Jeep reflects the red sand and then back into the green. Everything about the lighting in this game just impresses, and we haven't even seen any interiors and nighttime sections yet with torches. It really is going to be impressive, along with their ambient inclusion work that's ever present and ever improving. With such a vast amount already in, we can see that the sky is not only moving as you play, but clouds cast shadows, making it all feel even more dynamic. Is it possible we have a night and day system here, and possibly weather also? We shall see. In fact, the amount of GI is staggering, with water bouncing light as does grass, rocks, all receiving strong bounce light in the correct areas. See here as Nate clambers up, you can see the red-orange light obscured as Drake passes underneath it. The simply gorgeous ambient contact system Naughty Dog have still impresses me more each time I see it. The separate limbs cast shadows and even multiple ones. Look as Nate grabs the gun, the floor and wall areas all have contact shadows. It's really quality work. Talking of that, texture is also very high, and even though the expensive shadow maps may still show signs of its low resolution, combined with its pipeline method I've mentioned before, it is a worthy sacrifice and one that clearly falls into the nitpicking category. The fast takedowns including multiple weapon grabs are another nice touch. I am looking forward to some epic gameplay moments using the flowing combat system, which looks a big step up from previous entries, and now with a new grapple system allowing fast and dynamic vertical choices in traversal and combat, I aim to pull off some sick, eye-watering and most importantly big bold heroic moves throughout the campaign and my gameplay streams, with Nathan's new fighting style look a little bit Jean-Claude Van Damme influenced. The only thing I'm not too fond of is I wish they'd stuck to the subtle little white marker when people see you, rather than the garish yellow outline and tag above their head. But this is probably optional and can be turned off in the menu system, I hope, and I'll be the first one to flick that off if it does. Similar to the listening sense on The Last of Us. And on that note, I think enough has been touched on to show that we are in for one hell of a journey, and all our expectations should be reset as to what an Uncharted game actually is. With this only being the meat and potatoes of the game, trying to fathom how stratospheric the series set pieces are going to be is enough to send you mad. I am both dreading and desperate to enjoy this last ride into the unknown, and you can be sure I will share as much as I can with you all from my analysis, spoiler-free review and online play. Please add me for games and streams if you so wish. And we will don the shirt and chest hair one last time for truth, treasure and treachery, and which brother reaches their fitting end. As always, I hope you guys and girls enjoyed this. If you did, then please hit the like and subscribe button, as that really helps me immensely. Please feel free to share and talk about my work in forums if you are. I appreciate that also. Leave all your thoughts and feedback below, and I'll leave you with Bruce Straley, who describes it all best. And I'll see you very soon in Uncharted.
Animations that feels very rooted and grounded, but at the same time gives you the responsiveness. You're gonna get to play this. We're showing off in a way of just like, look how gorgeous this can be. Look at what we can do. Look at the colors, look at the scenes, look at the environments that you're gonna get to explore, and you're gonna get to have that on the stick.